She shared a post saying, "Men are trash after our disagreement." So I took a screenshot and sent it to her father, highlighting his daughter's thoughts on the gender that raised her. He cut off her financial support. I'm a 35-year-old man dealing with the aftermath of what might be the most satisfying screenshot I've ever captured. My now ex-girlfriend, Brooke, 28, just discovered that social media comments have real-life repercussions. A quick background on Brooke. She's a trust fund kid, with her father owning 3 car dealerships in our town. She has never held a real job, lives in a downtown apartment that her dad pays for, drives a leased BMW, and receives a monthly allowance that exceeds most people's salaries. We dated for about 14 months. The relationship worked because, honestly, I earn a good income in tech and didn't mind her lifestyle. She was fun, looked great at work events, and I figured everyone has their quirks. Hers was being entirely financially reliant on her conservative father at 28 years old. Her dad, Richard, is old-fashioned but tech-savvy, staying connected with his kids through social media and checking their posts to keep an eye on them. He has told me before that he monitors their online presence to ensure his money isn't wasted on foolish choices. Last Friday night, we had dinner plans. Nothing extravagant, just an Italian restaurant we both enjoy. I was about 10 minutes late due to traffic and texted her that I was almost there. She replied that she had already ordered appetizers and wine. When I arrived, it was clear she had been drinking for a while. The appetizers were gone, and she was halfway through a second bottle of wine by herself at 7 p.m. "Hey babe, sorry I'm late. Traffic was terrible." "Whatever. I'm starving, so I already ate." Not the best start, but fine. I ordered something and tried to make conversation. She was glued to her phone the whole time, barely engaging. Finally, I asked what was wrong. "Men just don't understand," she said without looking up. "Understand what? How tough it is to be a woman. The pressure, the expectations, how you guys think everything should revolve around you." This came out of nowhere. We hadn't been arguing about anything. "Did something happen today?" "It's not about today. It's about every day. You're 10 minutes late and expect me to just wait like some servant. I texted you and apologized. Traffic happens. See, you don't get it. It's not about the traffic." I was trying to follow her reasoning, but she was clearly looking for a conflict. The wine wasn't helping. "Okay, what is it about then?" "Forget it. You wouldn't understand anyway." She returned to her phone. I finished my meal in silence while she posted Instagram stories and tweets, sighing dramatically every few minutes or making faces at whatever she was looking at. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore. "Brooke, if you want to leave, just say so. But ignoring me while you scroll on your phone is quite rude." "Oh, I'm rude for having opinions? For not smiling and nodding at everything you say? For ignoring your boyfriend during dinner? Wrong thing to say." Her face turned red with anger. "There it is. You think because you're paying, I owe you attention. Typical man thinking money means ownership." "That's not what I said. It's exactly what you said. This is why men are trash. You think because you pay for dinner, I have to entertain you." She was getting loud now, and other tables were looking. "Can we talk about this somewhere else?" "No, we can't. I'm done discussing anything with you. Take me home." The ride back to her place was silent. She exited the car without a word and slammed the door. I thought she'd calm down overnight, and we could talk on Saturday. Instead, I woke up to messages from 3 friends asking if I saw Brooke's Instagram. I checked her stories. She had posted a long rant about toxic masculinity and how men think they own you if they buy you dinner. Then she shared a post on her main feed reminding everyone that men are trash and will always let you down. Ladies, we deserve better than these entitled babies who think basic human decency should be rewarded. The post had 42 likes and many comments from her friends agreeing with heart emojis and supportive messages. I screenshot everything. Here's what Brooke apparently forgot. Her dad, Richard, follows her on Instagram and keeps up with her posts. He's conservative, old school, and built his business from the ground up. He believes in respect, accountability, and not biting the hand that feeds you. I've met Richard a dozen times. He likes me because I have a good job, treat his daughter well, and don't ask him for money. We've talked about business, politics, and life philosophies. He has expressed his disappointment in Brooke's lack of work ethic and appreciation for what she has. So, Saturday afternoon, I sent Richard a text. "Hey Richard, hope you're doing well. Thought you might want to see your daughter's thoughts on the gender that raised her and pays her bills." Then I sent him the screenshots. He replied about an hour later. "Thanks for bringing this to my attention. Very enlightening. That was it. Short and to the point. Sunday morning, Brooke called me screaming. What did you do? My dad just cut off my allowance and froze my credit cards. He says I'm ungrateful and need to learn respect. I didn't do anything. Your dad follows your Instagram and checks your posts. You sent him my post, didn't you? I shared some screenshots. Thought he should know how you really feel about men. Those posts weren't about him, or you specifically. I was just venting. Really? Because you said men are trash and always let you down. I'm a man. Your dad's a man. Pretty specific. You're being ridiculous. Call him and fix this. Fix what? You posted it publicly. Stand by your words. I can't pay my rent next week without that money. Sounds like a you problem. Maybe get a job. She hung up on me. I've been getting messages all day from her friends calling me controlling and manipulative. Apparently, I'm a monster for using her father against her. One even said I violated her privacy by sharing public social media posts. The entitlement is astonishing. She publicly insults an entire gender, including the men supporting her lifestyle, and then gets upset when those men see her true thoughts. I'm not losing sleep over this. Actions have consequences. If you're going to bite the hand that feeds you, don't be shocked when it stops feeding you. Her dad texted me that evening. Thanks again for opening my eyes. Brooke needs to learn the value of hard work and gratitude. You seem like a good man who deserves better. Yeah, I think I do too. Update 1. 72 hours later. 3 days since I sent those screenshots to Richard, and Brooke's world is officially falling apart. Thanks for all the support in the comments. It's good to know I'm not crazy for believing actions should have consequences. Sunday night, after Brooke hung up on me, she went into full crisis mode. Her friend Jessica called me around 10 p.m. Ryan, you need to fix this. Brooke is having a breakdown. What exactly am I supposed to fix? Jessica, call her dad. Tell him it was a misunderstanding. She didn't mean what she posted. She wrote the words. She hit post. She meant it. She was just upset about your fight. You know how she gets when she's been drinking, right? So, when she drinks, she shows her true feelings about men. Good to know. Don't be like this. She loves you. A funny way of showing it, calling me trash on social media. Jessica tried guilt-tripping me for another 10 minutes before giving up. After that call, I blocked Brooke's number. Done with the drama. Monday brought more developments. Richard wasn't joking about the financial cutoff. The credit cards Brooke was using were authorized user accounts on his business cards. He removed her access immediately. The BMW lease was in his name with her as the driver. He called the dealership and had her taken off the insurance, making it illegal for her to drive. Brooke had to take an Uber to my office Monday afternoon. She was waiting in the lobby when I returned from lunch. Ryan, please, I'm begging you. Call my dad and explain what really happened. What really happened is you got drunk, picked a fight with me over nothing, then posted about how awful men are. He saw it and made his decision. I'll delete the posts. I'll apologize. I'll do whatever you want. I don't want anything, Brooke. You revealed who you really are. Your dad just finally noticed it too. I can't manage without that money. My rent is due Friday, and it's $3,200. Get a job. Doing what? I don't have experience or skills. Whose fault is that? She started to cry. Real tears this time, not the manipulative kind. Please, Ryan, I'm sorry. I was wrong. Just help me fix this. You had 28 years to build a relationship with your dad based on respect and gratitude. You chose to publicly call him trash instead. Fix it yourself. I walked away and had building security escort her out. Tuesday brought an attempt at family intervention. Brooke's mom, Diane, called me. I actually like Diane. She's always been kind to me. Ryan, honey, I know Brooke messed up, but could you please talk to Richard? He won't listen to me or her. Diane, with all due respect, this is between Brooke and her father. I just showed him what she posted publicly. She was just having a bad day. You know, she doesn't really think that about all men. Does she think that about me? Because she said men are trash and always let you down. I'm her boyfriend. Silence. She loves you, Ryan. She has a strange way of showing it. Then Richard is being too harsh. Cutting off all her money over one social media post. It wasn't just one post. Richard mentioned he went back through her Instagram after I sent those screenshots. Found months of similar content she had been posting. What other content? Ask him. But apparently, this wasn't her first time publicly criticizing men while living off one. Another long silence. I didn't know she'd been posting things like that. Now you do. We ended the call amicably, but I could tell Diane was processing some uncomfortable truths. Wednesday morning brought the best update yet. Richard called me directly. Ryan, I wanted to thank you again and let you know my decision is final. Brooke has been cut off completely until she gets a job and learns some respect. How's she handling it? Not well. She's been calling and texting nonstop, crying, begging, making promises, but I've heard it all before. This isn't the first time, son. She's been disrespectful and entitled her whole life. I kept thinking she'd grow out of it. Those posts you showed me were just the final straw. What did you find when you looked back? Months of rants about men being useless, how women shouldn't have to work if they have wealthy fathers, how daughters deserve financial security regardless of their attitude. Real eye-opening stuff that I'd somehow missed. You follow her but don't check regularly? I follow her to keep an eye on major red flags, but I don't scroll through every post. I trusted her to be respectful. My mistake. Richard also mentioned that Brooke had tried to turn Diane against me, claiming I manipulated and controlled her. But apparently, our phone conversation had given Diane her own wake-up call about Brooke's attitude. Diane's been enabling this behavior for years, Richard said. Maybe it's time we both stop. I'm genuinely impressed with how Richard's handling this. He's not being vindictive. He's just finally establishing boundaries that should have existed years ago. Meanwhile, I've been receiving hate messages from Brooke's circle. Apparently, I'm an abusive ex who ruined her life out of spite. The mental gymnastics are impressive. None of them seem to think Brooke bears any responsibility for publicly insulting the man who pays her bills. It's all my fault for showing him what she truly thinks. The lack of accountability is staggering. 1 month later, it's time to wrap this up since the situation has reached its natural conclusion. It's been a month since I sent those screenshots to Richard, and Brooke has learned some tough lessons about consequences. The first 2 weeks after Richard cut her off were complete chaos. Brooke swung between denial, anger, and desperate bargaining. She attempted everything from emotional manipulation to outright lies to regain her financial support. She told Richard the first pressured her to drink that night and manipulated her into posting those things. When that didn't work, she claimed I edited the screenshots to make her look worse. She even suggested I hacked her account and posted the content myself. Richard wasn't fooled. 30 years of running a business taught him to recognize lies and manipulation. She's always been good at making excuses, he told me during an update call. But this time, the evidence speaks for itself. Week 3 brought reality crashing down. Brooke's rent was overdue. Her credit cards were maxed out from her previous spending, and she had about $400 in her checking account. The landlord initiated eviction proceedings. She finally did what she should have done years ago, got a job. Nothing glamorous, just part-time retail at a clothing store in the mall. She applied to 15 places and got hired at the one most desperate for staff. Minimum wage plus commission. The type of job most people take in high school and college while developing actual skills. Her friends have been posting about how proud they are that she's surviving despite everything. The victim narrative is strong with this group. But here's the satisfying part. The job is a reality check. She went from sleeping until noon and spending her days shopping to standing on her feet for 8 hours, dealing with demanding customers for $12 an hour. Welcome to how the other half lives. She texted me from a new number 2 weeks ago. One last attempt at reconciliation. Ryan, I get it now. I was wrong about everything. This job is tough, and I miss my old life. Can we please try again? You miss your allowance, not me. That's not true. I miss us. What we had was you spending your dad's money while complaining about men. Not exactly a partnership. I've learned my lesson. I'll be different. You've learned that working is hard when you've never had to do it. That's not the same as learning respect or gratitude. Please, Ryan, just give me another chance. Brooke, you publicly called me trash. Then you got upset when there were consequences. That tells me everything I need to know about your character. No reply to that. The best part of this whole situation is watching the dynamics within her friend group change. Some are still playing the victim card with Brooke, but others are quietly growing tired of the constant complaining and drama. Turns out when you can't afford to split dinner bills or fund trips, some friendships lose their charm. Richard has remained firm in his decision. No financial support until Brooke proves she can hold a job for 6 months and shows genuine change in attitude. Given her current trajectory, that seems unlikely. She calls me every few days, crying about how challenging her life is, Richard told me last week. But she still hasn't apologized for what she posted. She's just sorry about the consequences. That's the difference right there. Brooke isn't sorry for disrespecting him or me. She's sorry she got caught and lost her meal ticket. As for me, I'm doing well. The peace of not dealing with her constant drama and entitlement is worth more than any relationship benefits we had. I've been casually dating and remembering what it's like to be with women who genuinely appreciate effort instead of expecting it. She had to move back in with her parents after getting evicted. At 28 years old, working retail while living in her childhood bedroom. The consequences of her choices couldn't be clearer. The revenge wasn't elaborate or cruel. It was simply revealing to someone how they're viewed by the person they depend on most. Brooke built her entire lifestyle on her father's generosity while publicly disparaging men like him. She gambled that he'd never see her true opinions. She lost that bet. Those posts are still live on her Instagram, by the way. She never deleted them. Maybe she forgot, or perhaps she still believes what she wrote. Either way, they serve as a permanent reminder that words carry weight and social media isn't free from consequences. She wanted to declare that men are trash. Now she gets to prove she can survive without relying on one. That's justice.